Good morning, students. Now we are in the last part of the 15th group elements. In the previous classes we have studied about the dinitrogen and ammonia, their uses, preparation and properties. Now today we are going to discuss about nitric acid, that is HNO3, its uses, preparation and properties. So what are the uses? Again, it is used in the manufacture of different fertilizers like ammonium nitrate, say AMM dot I kept, that is it is ammonium nitrate, ammonium always NH4, nitrate always NO3, because NO3 takes 1 minus, NH4 takes 1 plus, right? Then calcium nitrate, calcium is plus 2 charge, therefore NO3 should be written twice. CaNO3 taken twice, calcium nitrate, and it is used as used in explosives preparation like trinitrotoluene, explosives preparation like trinitrotoluene. Here is the structure of trinitrotoluene. This is CH3. Toluene is benzene with CH3 ring, and 3 nitrogen nitro groups, 1 2 3 nitro NO2 groups. It is called as trinitrotoluene, right? Simple benzene ring with CH3 is called as toluene, common name. And if when reacted with nitration reaction HNO3, it forms trinitrotoluene, and this is an explosive. Okay, and it is used in the purification of noble metals like silver and gold. Ag is always for silver and Au for gold. Short notations. Now preparation. Again, I'm discussing all the different preparatory methods, but these name methods or commercial methods are very important, at least for your examination point of view. So first, laboratory method. In the lab we can simply prepare. How? By just heating the potassium nitrate, KNO3. Again, potassium takes plus 1 charge because first year group element. NO3 takes 1 minus charge. Therefore, KNO3, when it is reacted with sulfuric acid, our HNO3 is produced. Then sodium nitrate. See, all letters should be capital. NO, right? NO, NaNO3. When it is reacted with sulfuric acid, again, so this is sodium nitrate. This is potassium nitrate, and this is sodium nitrate. When they reacted with the concentrated sulfuric acid, they produces HNO3. See, wherever we are saying laboratory method means this is not in large quantity. It can be in small quantity like 1 ml, 2 ml, 10 ml like that, not more than that. So, but whenever we require for any uses, we requires in large quantity. So, for that sake, we go for the manufacturing by established processes like Haber's process we have studied for the ammonia. Similarly, here Ostwald's process for the preparation of nitric acid, that is HNO3. Nitric acid, just remember the structure formula HNO3, right? So this in the Ostwald process, again they established all the conditions in order to decrease the wastage and increase the yield of the product or yield of the nitric acid. Okay, so what is this Ostwald process? See, again, this is a based on catalytic. In Haber's process also catalyst we have used, right? So here also catalytic oxidation of ammonia by atmospheric oxygen. So here atmospheric oxygen is going to be oxidized. Ammonia is oxidized by atmospheric oxygen, simple oxygen. Okay. So here first step is this Ostwald's process involves 3 steps. If at all in the exam it is asked, you are supposed to write all the 3 steps. So step 1 involves oxidation of ammonia, NH3. See, this one we have prepared in the previous topic, right? Or this is about we talking about. This ammonia is used in the preparation of nitric acid also we have studied. right? So this ammonia on reaction with oxygen in the presence of catalyst, it produces NO. So the first step is preparation of NO, but actually we want HNO3. That's why we have 3 steps. So first NO is prepared, and here catalyst can be platinum or rubidium. Catalyst can be platinum or rubidium, and 500 Kelvin is used. 500 Kelvin is used. 9 bar of the pressure, it seems very less. Okay, so 1 atmosphere is normal atmospheric pressure. 9 also, that means some pressure is giving. Pressure, temperature, catalyst like platinum is used because oxygen also having double bonds. So it can also not that easily reactive, right? We need to break it and react with the ammonia. So also that's why it requires the catalyst. Haber's process also, N3, there triple bond N was there. In order to break this, we required a catalyst, and high temperature and pressures we have used. Here also catalyst, high pressure, high temperature, pressure and temperatures are required. So see, this pressure and temperature you compare with the ammonia Haber's process preparation, they are lesser than Haber's process. So they produced this NO in the second step. It is used in the second step. See here, nitric oxide. This is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide reacts to form nitrogen dioxide. See here, this is my nitric oxide. Nitric oxide reacts with oxygen O2, forms nitrogen dioxide NO2. If you have any doubt, nitrogen monoxide you can call, nitric oxide you can call. So NO is converting into NO2, right? See, in first step we have prepared NO. Second step we are oxidizing it to NO2. In the third step, when it is this NO2, nitrogen dioxide, when it is reacted with when it is dissolved in water, no need much reaction. Just in the third step, the produced NO2 in the second step is dissolved in water, produces my HNO3. So as here NO is produced again. Look at this, NO is again my nitric oxide or nitrogen monoxide, which is the product of first step. That means this NO can be recycled to the second step directly. We no need to go for the second step. How much amount of the NO is produced, they directly taken into the second step, again react with oxygen. It will, the reaction continues. That means wastage is less. That is what I was saying about the manufacturing. Hostile process manufacturing in large quantities, they don't waste any byproducts, right? In this third step, but this HNO3 which is formed is diluted and only 68%. Why? Because already water is there. Therefore, I want, if it is much diluted, and if we do distillation, it will leads to, so distillation, it leads to 98%. Distillation will leads to 98% of it, and when it is, here HNO3 is 68% only, but when it is passed through concentrated, further concentration to 98% can be done by the dehydration of concentrated H2SO4. If we pass this HNO3, the formed product, on through the concentrated sulfuric acid, it produces 98% of HNO3. Right, in the third step I am saying. So that is about your Ostwald's process of the HNO3. Now the properties. What are the different properties are present for this HNO3? It is again a colorless gas in the pure condition, but it is, when contaminated, it is some yellow or brownish color due to the presence of NO2 also. HNO2 contains NO2, then it will gain the color. If not, it is colorless compound. Now the structure. In gaseous state, it is a planar structure. It is a planar molecule. Ammonia we have learned, it is a pyramidal structure, right? See here, nitrogen, 3 bonds only you are looking here, but actually N double bond O, OH, HNO3, right? This is plus and this is minus. So this is present. So that's why this is planar. No any lone pair of electron. If I write like this, which is given in your textbook, it is having lone pair like it is looking, but it is not like that. Exactly, it looks like this. And this oxygen can be shared by, negative charge can be shared by all the 3 atoms. Sometimes this oxygen gains a negative charge and H plus will become, or this will become O minus, like that. So this is the planar structure and sp2 hybridization, 120 bond angle, like that. Planar structure, right? Then its property, when it is dissolved in water, it acts as an acid. That's why we say nitric acid, right? Because it donates the H plus. H3O plus when I am writing means this is nothing but H plus. Because with water is going to be taken, H plus and NO3 minus it will form simply. Or when it is dissolved in water, H3O plus, hydronium ion is formed. So this proton donor is an acid. Therefore, as it is donating this proton, my nitric acid is a strong acid in aqueous condition. Concentrated nitric acid is strong oxidizing agent. This is again important. Strong oxidizing agent, because of it reacts with metals, non-metals, and it oxidizes all of them. Therefore, you see, reacts with most metals, but gold and platinum, noble metals, are not reacted with the concentrated HNO3. Actually, there is a layer formed on it. Therefore, also it won't react. The product of oxidation depends on concentration of acid. If you take concentrated HNO3, some product may be different, and dilute HNO3, product may be different. Most of the product is same, but some products are different. Let us see in the reaction. Look at here, I have written for you clearly reaction of HNO3 with metals and reaction of HNO3 with non-metals. Both I have written, and here with concentrated HNO3 and with dilute HNO3 also I have written separately. In textbook all they have mixed up. So when in exam if they are asking, you have to write if it is with concentration nitric acid, these reactions you have to write. If write the reactions of HNO3 with dilute HNO3 with the metals, you have to write like this. With non-metals, like this. Okay, let us see. All are same, simple. No need to bother. There are so many reactions are there, how to remember and all. No, it's very simple. Look at metal. Copper is a metal, right? Copper, zinc, sodium, potassium. So sodium, potassium, lithium, these are all the first year, second year group elements. But copper, zinc, these are the metals of D block elements. So you should remember all the elements where they belongs in the periodic table. So copper, which is a metal present in the D block element, react with my concentrated, here concentrated HNO3, forms copper nitrate, isn't it? This is copper nitrate. 8 whenever you will say, when it is NO3. Copper takes +2 charge, that's why NO3 taken twice. CuNO3 taken twice, copper nitrate. And it forms NO2. Please make a note, when concentrated acid is reacting with the metal, the bond product is copper nitrate and NO2. Look at this zinc. Again, concentrated HNO3 is used to form zinc nitrate, right? Zinc nitrate and NO2 again, and water. Again, when you see that reaction with dilute HNO3, same copper and zinc I have taken. This is also dilute, this is also dilute. See, look at this first product. Both are same. Copper nitrate, zinc nitrate and zinc nitrate. But only the next product is different. Here, nitrogen dioxide is formed. Here, nitric oxide is formed. And nitrous oxide is formed. This is called nitrous oxide. Nitric oxide and nitrogen monoxide, just now I said, right? So only this product is different, that's all. So the main product is same. At least you remember this. When zinc HNO3 or my nitric acid reacts with the metal, it forms the respective nitrates. Okay. And again, metals, some metals which are not reactive: iron, nickel, chromium, and aluminum. Okay, here it forms the passive oxide layer, that's why it won't react. Concentrated nitric acid won't react with the iron, nickel, chromium, and aluminum due to formation of passive oxide layer. But whereas in previous, just now I said, strong nitric acid reacts noble metals like gold and platinum. It won't react because they are not reactive. These noble metals are very less reactive, that's why concentrated nitric acid won't react. But whereas concentrated nitric acid won't react with the iron, nickel, chromium, iron due to the formation of passive oxide layer. Please make a note. Then coming to the reaction with non-metals. So non-metals all comes into the P block. Most of the all your P block elements are your non-metals, right? So iodine. So iodine reacts with HNO3 to form HiO3 and NO2H2O. Just try to remember at least few. No need these stoichiometric ratios and all. Right? In all of them, NO2 is common. See, NO2 is common, and again it acts as oxidizing agent only. Right? Oxidizes. Right? So I2, for example, if you do I2 is 0 in oxidation state, but in this +5 is oxidation state. Increase in oxidation number is oxidation. Decrease in oxidation number is reduction. So HNO3 oxidizes the non-metals. So these are the non-metals which have been oxidized. Look at this carbon, elemental form 0 oxidation state, but whereas this is +4 oxidation state. Similarly, these are also 0 oxidation state, but whereas it is given +6 and H3PO4, right? So 4 2s are 8, 5 +5. So this is my HNO3 has been oxidized the respective non-metals into their respective compounds, different compounds. So these are the reactions of HNO3 with metals and non-metals. And the last small topic is test for nitrate ion. Again, very important. We will do this one in our laboratory also. Test for nitrate ion procedure. Means if any nitrate ion is given, we have to identify whether it is nitrate or not by doing some reactions. How? Say, an aqueous solution of HNO3 and freshly prepared ferrous sulfate is added. Then, see, for example, this is your test tube. To this, some nitrate ion is given to you. Silver nitrate maybe, AgNO3 is given to you. But you don't know it is a silver nitrate. But we can identify this NO3 minus is present in this compound by doing some reaction. How? Add to this some dilute HNO3 and add Fe2SO4. Then afterwards, onto the glass walls of the test tube, you add H2SO4 dropwise. See here, slides on the sides of the test tube. If you add H2SO4, it will produce a brown ring. At the interjunction of the, see here, a brown ring is formed interjunction of the two liquids. So this is my liquid and this is the liquid. There is a brown color ring is formed like this. Very nice, easy to identify. That's why this is called brown ring test. See, what is observation? A brown ring is formed at the junction of liquids, and this is the conformation of NO3 minus, that is nitrate ion. So what are the reactions involved in it? See here, nitrate ion given and reacts with my sulfuric acid and ferrous sulfate to forms NO, and this NO reacts with the formed hexa aqua iron complex and forms this precipitate, and this is in brown color. So this is in brown color and present as the ring towards the walls. Therefore, this is called brown ring test. And this ends my nitric acid reactions and 15th group elements.